Dakota and Felicity have big problems. The aftermath of their break with Korcle has been nothing less of disastrous for the couple, leaving them somehow even more homeless than they were, and most definitely more desperate for cash than ever. For those who don't know about TikTok's most controversial couple, I highly recommend my first video on them, but a quick rundown would be that Dakota and Felicity are a homeless couple from the American South. Dakota had been the subject of various viral memes, but wasn't really known by the wider public until he met a TikToker named Korcle, who took numerous steps to help Dakota get off the streets, and everything seemed to be going well until Dakota met Felicity, who had been kicked out of her parents' house and within 5 minutes of meeting Dakota asked him to be her boyfriend. And they've had an on-again, off-again relationship since. Because of Dakota's unwillingness to change, and drama brought about by Felicity, Korcle would distance himself from the couple around the end of 2025, and ever since they have been trying to desperately scratch out a living on the streets. But the couple would not remain off of social media for long, because people had seen the great success of Korcle's videos featuring Dakota, and some thought they could do something extremely similar. People like River Daniels, a man who was seen hanging around Dakota on Facebook and bad-mouthing Korcle. Almost immediately after posting about Dakota, River began begging for money from people who would hit him up on Facebook, claiming that it would go towards children that he was taking care of. But River has a lengthy criminal history, along with Dakota's next pseudo-manager, a woman named China Scott. China would first be seen taking Dakota and Felicity to get pedicures, and then taking them shopping at a thrift store. It was very clear from the get-go that she was trying to emulate Korcle's content style, and leech whatever money she could off the situation, despite claiming the exact opposite. China would be extremely critical of Korcle, claiming that he didn't do enough for Dakota and Felicity and she was going to pick up the slack. This was around the time that Felicity began to talk about the new 5-bedroom home that they would be getting, and the topic of this 5-bedroom home would become quite the meme within the community, because spoilers, they never got that 5-bedroom house. What they did get was 3 new and extremely shady people in their lives. You heard about River and China, but there's also a third man who was seen filming with Dakota and Felicity. Flophouse Inc would debut with some Dakota content at the casino.
So we went to the casino after the fights, and I don't think security thought Dakota was 21. What do you guys think?
Can I get somebody to come to Maine, please?
So I taught Dakota how to play Texas Hold'em, and I figured what better than trial by fire, so we're gonna see what happens. I was actually pleasantly surprised, because he showed discipline, and that's always a good start.
I needed you, Dakota.
And this is what we come back to after being out. And yeah, it's a little much, but
My phone's there too.
love will do that to people.
I don't care what you taste like.
So to end the night, Dakota had locked himself out, and we needed a solution.
God.
So
Go lock the front door. Go lock the front door.
alright.
Taking a homeless person to the casino kind of seems counterintuitive. Dakota already has plenty of problems with addiction. The casino is the last place he should step foot, but Flophouse thought this would be the perfect night for him and Dakota. After they had lost all their money at the casino, they would return to Dakota's old apartment where he had been keeping some of his things. I'm not even sure if Dakota has possession of this apartment anymore because they have to slip him in through an open window. Flophouse would claim that he met Dakota on the street, but some of the more astute viewers of this content figured out that not only Flophouse, but River Daniels and China Scott were all related, and it seemed like they were all cooking up some kind of master plan to take Korcle's place and distance Dakota as much as possible from him. China Scott was the main one that did the filming with Dakota and Felicity, which started off relatively light with the previously mentioned thrift store visits, but things would get a lot more interesting when Felicity was kicked out of the house she was staying at, calling up China and begging her for help.
I don't understand.
Because she kicked him out. Because she doesn't want him around. The lights are on. They're up.
I don't care if they're up.
Let's get inside.
She's not going to do nothing to you, baby. I promise.
I'm
not
scared of
gonna let
her.
that- Baby, I got you. She's not going to do nothing to you. I promise you. She does not want this.
I'm scared of her. I think she's gonna fight me if she finds out I was here.
I'm right here. She's not doing anything to you. I promise you. All right, let's go inside. We'll figure out the rest later. We'll get it all, okay?
I need to get my makeup done too.
Okay, baby. Let's get
And my hair straightened too.
Yeah, let's do it.
From what I could tell, Dakota and Felicity had been staying with one of Felicity's friends, and they had outstayed their welcome. They also weren't posting much to social media and not fulfilling many cameo requests. Just as China sought to replace Korcle in a content sense, Dakota and Felicity wanted her to fulfill Korcle's shoes in a financial sense. The couple are extremely lazy and usually expect others to provide for them. So just as much as China saw them as easy prey, they saw her as an easy mark. And so, the China saga began in full earnest, swiftly dubbed by the community as Timu Korcle. For only being 28 years old, China has a lengthy rap sheet. From possession to scams, she's done a little bit of everything. So people immediately suspected her of working some kind of angle with Dakota and Felicity, who were spending most of their time out of hotels paid for by fans or China, who was filming them hanging out frequently.
I can't wait to marry you. And yes, guys, we are doing good. We are moving into a 5-bedroom house soon. Aren't we, baby?
Yep.
And then, hang on, y'all. I'll show you how I get whenever he gets on my level. I pick him up like this. I go down, and I lift. Oh! And this is how I can carry him anywhere I go. Mwah. But yeah, it's been a while since I've seen everybody, so we are doing absolutely great.
It makes me, and I think very many other people, uncomfortable how Felicity and Dakota behave to each other. Dakota is 20, and she talks to him like a baby, even lifting him up and holding him like a toddler. It seems like Dakota has just accepted behavior like this, and it's sad to say, but his entire life has kind of become like that Hezbollah clip, where Mike Tyson doesn't know that this is a damn near middle-aged man and starts cuddling on him like a child. To me, it's not so much the holding that bothers me, but the way that Felicity uses baby talk with him. Their relationship is extremely codependent. Felicity has cheated on Dakota numerous times, but he does nothing, almost always taking her back. Something else that I should remind people of is that Dakota still has access to his old apartment. He just can't stay there with Felicity, so he chooses to live on the streets or couch surf with Felicity.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Say Merry Christmas, baby.
Merry Christmas to y'all.
Yeah, Merry Christmas to everybody. Hope they have a good and happy New Year's.
Mm-hmm.
I'm at my friend's house right now. We're staying here for a while. But Happy New Year's, and thank you for all the nice comments that y'all been saying about me and him. We love you all, and we miss y'all.
Yeah.
And we've been very close all week, haven't we?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Merry Christmas, everybody.
The point I'm really trying to drive home here is that Dakota has options. He just chooses to live the way that he does. He could be staying at his own apartment if he didn't choose to be with Felicity. And it turns out this isn't the only housing opportunity that Dakota has squandered. His own cousin would take to the Facebook comments under one of China Doll's videos. I gave him a place to stay, his own room and all. He chose to go live in a dope house, which led to him being homeless. Korcle stepped in and helped tremendously, and I appreciate that. I offered for Dakota to come back to my house, but he said Felicity had to come, and I said no. He got mad at me, and that's fine. I don't like Felicity. She lies and puts hands on people that she knows are helpless. And I have proof, but I won't air everyone's dirty laundry out. I hope he finds peace and finds his way back to his family that care but won't tolerate his partner. I can't even count the amount of times that Felicity has cheated on Dakota. I would say easily a half dozen instances, and mostly with different men who she's still in contact with, by the way. In my previous video, I covered an incident where Felicity ran off to another state to be with a different man, abandoning Dakota, but she would swiftly return after finding out that she had it better with Dakota. That man is on the registry for crimes against a child. She cheated on Dakota with scum like that, and he still took her back. It's like I said before, they have a seriously codependent relationship. When Felicity had to stay in the hospital for a couple days due to a minor medical problem, China would film her and Dakota's reunion, which is nothing short of disturbing.
Don't ever leave me. Don't ever leave me. Promise? You better. Wherever I go, you better go. Even if we go to heaven, you better stay where I'm at. In heaven with me. You stay next to me in heaven. Right? Can you get a boop? Can you get a boop? Look at the camera, baby. Say hi to everybody. Can I get a boop?
Once again, she treats him like a child, even telling him to follow her to heaven, which is pretty creepy. I'm sure you can see what I'm talking about by now with the codependence. I'm not sure if Felicity really loves Dakota, but she knows that she needs him, because he brings in more money as a beggar, and has social media leeches which they can hit their Uno reverse card on. And for them, China was a prime target. She thought that she would film Dakota and Felicity and make all this money off it, but the couple had very different plans for her, hanging out more and more as time went on, and convincing China to buy a number of things for them. I don't know whose idea it was, but one day Felicity would get a Dakota tattoo, claiming that Dakota would get his soon. Eagle-eyed viewers noticed that the tattoo was very poorly done, suspecting China or one of her friends as being the artist. In my opinion, this doesn't look very professional at all. Definitely been done by some kind of amateur. Something else that's wild is I don't think Dakota ever got his Felicity tattoo, even though they claimed for weeks that it was coming.
And you can't wait to get married? And what's the date?
March the 11th.
March the 11th?
That'll be on my 22nd birthday is when I'm getting married.
That's awesome.
Bro, I just got a tattoo done.
Be careful. It looks good though. Let's see it. Not infected at all. Looks
Oh,
really
it's
good.
a little tender though.
Okay.
Like,
Just
hang
some
on, I'll
AD.
show you. It's like right around here. Like right here is very tender right now.
Yeah, I bet. But it looks good. That's just the coloring there.
Yeah.
It's not infected.
No.
And scabbing is healing.
Yeah, it's just scabbing over right now.
It looks good though.
Got it done on New Year's Eve.
He's so excited to get his. But the place you got it, they're going out of business, right? So we're going to get his done somewhere else.
Yeah, they're going out of business, so this was like, how much was it? Like $20?
Where'd you get it done at?
They're called Tattoo Inc. place. It was in Chesapeake.
Chesapeake.
They're going out of business because they're going bankrupt.
That's no good.
They were really nice, actually. When they started, they got right there where the end is, where the D is, and that hurt.
Well, let's get his done somewhere else.
Yeah.
Better.
It's probably going to be expensive where he's going to get his done because mine wasn't that expensive, y'all.
Well,
It was like $20 to $30 to get it done.
I'll find you a place, and we can all go together and make sure that they're, legit.
Yeah, this place was legit. It was legit. I asked them how much it would be to get this whole thing done. They said $20 to $30, but they did not give me any.
People were waiting for Dakota to get a tattoo that would never come, so some troll online used AI to make it look like Dakota had already gotten the tattoo, leading him into China to make a response video, once again claiming that Dakota hadn't gotten it yet, but it was coming. I also want you to keep track of how China directs Dakota throughout the video, because this would become more frequent as time went on.
Hey guys, so I know that a lot of you know that there is a fake post going around that Dakota has already gotten his tattoo of Felicity's name, but he has not got his tattoo yet. She has got hers, but he hasn't got his, and he's here to tell you otherwise.
Hey guys, I love my girlfriend, I really do. I'm gonna be getting the tattoo really, really soon, hopefully. And that fake Felicity Jade tattoo is not, that one ain't, it's gonna be our first thing.
Yeah, so that's not a real tattoo. You haven't even gotten it yet.
I think China has some demons of her own. She often slurs her speech and acts intoxicated, and the rap sheet proves that she has a long history of stuff like this. In my opinion, China and her family are some of the worst kinds of people that Dakota and Felicity could be around. They strike me as the same kind of people that used Dakota as a slave in the old trap house he used to live in, but instead of using him to strip wire, she would keep him like her beloved pet bird. But at this time, China claims that Dakota and Felicity weren't living with her, and that she was doing all of this out of the kindness of her heart. And the part about them not living with her at least seemed to be true, because China would film another TikTok where Felicity claimed she had been kicked out of another friend's house.
Okay, so who kicked you out?
One of my friends.
That you and Dakota were staying with?
Yep.
Yeah, and then you called me to pick you up.
Mm-hmm.
And where were y'all at?
We were by Redwood trying to make some money.
Panhandling?
Yep.
No.
And now we're sick, so we've been outside all day.
We can't be doing that anymore.
Nope.
Yeah, they're all saying that I kicked you out. Isn't that crazy?
You didn't kick us out.
No, I've done nothing but help.
From what I can tell, Dakota and Felicity have been couch surfing, spending time at shelters, and actually living on the streets. Felicity is quickly running out of friends to stay with, and the situation regarding Dakota's apartment is murky at best. Many people still assumed that Dakota and Felicity were staying with China, and they believed that it was her who had kicked them out, causing China to make another video where she heavily directs the couple, telling them to say she didn't kick them out, and scolding Dakota for eating random food he found on the ground.
Can y'all believe that people think that I kicked y'all out?
You didn't. Dakota and Michael Harper! What the fuck?
Let's not eat random food off the ground.
Yeah, Dakota and Michael Harper.
But listen, everybody thinks that I kicked y'all out.
You didn't.
I didn't kick y'all out. Y'all were staying with a girl and she kicked you out.
Though they might have not been staying with China, her and her family had quite the impact on the couple in the short time they were involved with each other. Like I said before, China, River Daniels, and Flophouse Inc. all seem to be related. And Flophouse was the one that took Dakota to the casino. So China decides that she would also like to be a great influence on homeless addicts, taking Dakota and Felicity to the bar for a drink.
What did we do? What did you do? Reach for it. Now, here's mine. Yeah, there's his Bud Light. So we're both drunk right now. I can barely see him right now.
This is China's definition of helping Dakota and Felicity, supporting all of the bad decisions that they make. Korcle would help Dakota with housing, food, clothing, necessary items, but he almost always denied him drink and smoke because he knew that Dakota was struggling with addiction. On this front, I don't think China cares. Like I said earlier, she seems to have similar issues, so her and her family are terrible influences on Dakota and Felicity, who are already pretty bad themselves. Dakota has a long history of thievery, and Felicity currently has a bench warrant. To me, this situation seemed like a battle over who could scam who. Behind the scenes, China was convincing her grandmother to let Dakota and Felicity stay with them, because the couple had seemingly ran out of money and were back to begging on the streets, spotted doing this numerous times by locals.
Dakota and I both are. We got a homeless signs down. But we are panhandling right now. I am tired. My tongue's red because we just ate a Frosty. Not a Frosty, but a freaking money drop. Freaking stuff like that. So now we're panhandling, of course.
But eventually, China convinced her grandma to let Dakota and Felicity stay with them, announcing in another TikTok that they had finally found a place to stay. Immediately, people began to accuse China of holding Dakota and Felicity hostage, and not realizing that the majority of these people were joking, China would make a response video, claiming that they were neither hostages or substance users.
That is absolutely crazy. Dakota's not even here. It's just me and Felicity.
Okay, and Korcle, you need to keep my name out of your mouth. And I'm not being hostage. And you need to stop posting everything about me. You took everything from me. And me and my boyfriend. So, just stop saying everything, posting everything about us. Because it's kind of rude what you're doing right now.
And lies, too. Like,
yeah, you're saying lies, too. And I'm gonna do something about it.
yeah, and like saying that you're on drugs and...
You see I'm not on drugs. I've been with this Dakota for a year. I'm about to go get him right now.
And I'm not addicted either.
No, she's my best friend.
The illusion that China was presenting was far from the truth. She wanted to make it seem like Dakota and Felicity were getting along great, finally moving on to the next chapter of their lives. But Dakota's cousin would come back once again to set the facts straight. After picking Dakota up 2 nights ago from the hotel and meeting you in person, I'm sorry, but all you're out for is clout and attention. Who in their right mind would tell a family member that is clearly just trying to make sure he has somewhere to go because Felicity got caught cheating yet again that I need to sit down and record him talking shit about Korcle? You are ridiculous. I don't record him because he is a human being and a family member. Why would he want to feel uncomfortable at my house with me recording him instead of just enjoying his cousins? You're not out to help them. You need to help yourself. Korcle helped Dakota and even tried with Felicity. Felicity is a joke. I was there for every step of it. Then y'all want to come pick Dakota up from my house last night after telling him at the hotel room to stay away from her? Dakota's cousin absolutely flamed China, and I can't help but agree with almost everything she was saying. China is in no way, shape, or form involved for their benefit. She just wants to break her off a piece of that sweet, sweet social media clout. China wasn't gonna get anything out of them, and she was beginning to realize this. But it couldn't have come at a worse time for her because they had just moved into her grandmother's house, where China was also staying. But around the middle of January, things began to really sour. Felicity would post a video of her and Dakota walking the streets at night, saying that China wasn't feeding them.
China's not feeding us. We just got kicked out of the house. So now we're walking. And we don't know where to go now. We need you to come get us. Please, China's not feeding us. We're hungry, we're cold.
It seems like this initial falling out was brief and they would reconcile, but we wouldn't know for sure because the next couple of weeks we heard nothing from any of them until Dakota updated his Facebook profile with an address, asking people to send him things there. There would also be some messages of Felicity leaked, asking people to come and beat China up. Whatever had gone on behind the scenes made things worse than ever, leading China to make a TikTok disavowing the couple, claiming that they had used her.
Felicity, honey, I just saw the messages that you sent on TikTok, lied and said that I just woke up one morning and was mad and wanted you to leave. I have all the screenshots. I have all the proof that you were setting me up. I gave you all a place to stay, and you all destroyed, and wouldn't pick up one thing. I'm talking feces in the floor, on the steps, in the whole bedroom floor, on the bed, throw up on the bed. And Dakota literally looked at my 80-year-old grandmother, and when she said clean it up, he told her to eat shit. She's 80 years old. She doesn't even cuss. Like, that's horrible. Horrible. You all destroyed, and I did nothing but help you, feed you, do everything for you. Everything for you. You need to tell the truth because you're just using people and you know it, and it's both of you. You are users, period, and no one should help you.
The next day, China would post the video of her officially kicking Dakota and Felicity out, her reasons being that Felicity tried to get her jumped, and Dakota doxed their house.
So you're not going to apologize for putting that all over the internet, trying to set me up to be fought? I just wonder when you did it. Did you do it when I took you to Gabe's to get your nails done? When I took you somewhere? Like, when did you do it? When were you trying to have somebody come fight me? While you were here? Like, that's awful. Everything I've done for them. It's crazy. That's why nobody wants to help them. It's exactly why nobody. Well, you're going to be on the streets because that's where y'all want to be.
I cannot understate how much shit China and her whole family talked on Korcle, claiming that he should have done more for Dakota and Felicity. But this is the end result every time for people that help them. It's like the book If You Give a Mouse a Cookie. Nothing is ever enough for Dakota and Felicity, and they're unwilling to adapt their lifestyle, even in the slightest, treating China's grandmother's house like any kind of back alleyway. China would eventually reveal footage of the room that Dakota and Felicity stayed in, showcasing the absolute state that they left it. From dirty food bowls to human shit on the floor, the room was almost beyond repair.
This is my family's house that I let them stay at, so Dakota and Felicity so that they wouldn't have to be on the streets, and they still have their stuff here. They went to a girl's house and got kicked out as soon as they went. But yeah. They're horrible. Nasty. And that is literal human shit in the floor. I mean, this is absolutely horrible. To be nice to somebody and they do this. I mean, really.
The description of this video reads, "This was after the feces was mostly cleaned up, but you can still see the drips of it on the floor. I can't post the piles because it's just so beyond grotesque, and my stepdad was nice enough to help clean up, so you can only imagine how bad it was before it was cleaned up. Don't want to know what I found under the blankets either. Cig buds put out on the floor and in nice bowls they ate out of, and would put cigs out in the bowl with their half-eaten food still in there. I threw away every single dish they ate out of. Also, Felicity doesn't smoke, nor did she use the bathroom in the floor. She did puke though, but all of that was Dakota. There was no problem when she stayed, but when he came into the picture, everything changed. The rest of it just goes on and on about how sad she is. Personally, I can't believe that she got another living person to clean that room. This woman is a scammer through and through. so it's hard to feel any sympathy for her. I do, however, feel bad for her grandmother, whose house both she, Dakota, and Felicity were staying at. I'm both sorry that Dakota and Felicity did this to her house, but also that she has such a leech for a granddaughter. Everything that China accused Korcle of doing, she actually did. China did nearly nothing to help the couple long term. It's a fact that Korcle did far more than China ever had, and it seems like we finally have the answer on who got who in terms of being a scammer. China thought that she was going to make thousands on all this, only to end up with shit-stained carpet. I also wouldn't be shocked if that's China's former stage name. But enough about China, because thankfully, this is where her portion of the story comes to an end. Dakota and Felicity would go back to doing what they'd always done, panhandling on the streets and scamming whoever they could. Unconfirmed reports place both of them at a homeless shelter, which makes perfect sense. Each of them have legitimately exhausted every opportunity for housing they had. Neither of them were posting to social media anymore, especially after Dakota's account got deleted again, so their only source of income was begging. And the next time that we saw them, it's exactly what they were doing. After not hearing from Dakota or Felicity since the China kickout, a photo of them would be posted on Facebook, and it looks like they both shaved their heads. Apparently, people have been calling the police on them quite a bit, believing that Dakota is an elementary school child, so he's become even more of a local celebrity in recent times. All of this kind of reminds me of the situation surrounding Lieutenant Dan, not the Forrest Gump character, but a TikToker named after him. Found braving a hurricane in his boat in Florida with no legs, Dan became an instant social media sensation, and it didn't end up having the most positive impact on his life. Dan soon became the target of internet leeches looking to siphon off some of his fame, and also fell back into some bad habits regarding substances. The fame and money that had been afforded to him through these social media deals had effectively ruined the meager life that he carved out for himself. I don't even think Dan has his boat anymore, and I haven't seen him discussed on social media since he got arrested. I see Dakota traveling an extremely similar route. In the beginning, Lieutenant Dan had a solid manager who was really trying to help him improve his life, but after being accused of stealing, he got rid of said manager, and that's when the vultures came. This is almost beat for beat with what happened to Dakota and Korcle. The people who saw Dakota as nothing but a resource knew that they had to separate him from his only true friend, because he was going to keep it real. When Korcle was around, Dakota had almost everything he needed. But Korcle was also able to keep Dakota's wants in check. It's completely different these days. These days, Dakota does whatever he wants. There's even a screenshot floating around of Dakota supposedly trying to sell his food stamps in his subreddit. Needless to say, these are some of the most desperate times in his life, which currently consists of him begging and getting the cops called on him. Here is some police radio chatter talking about Dakota, and it might give you a little bit of insight as to why they're there so much.
Greenbrier Street and Washington Street East, Dakota is standing there holding a sign. Callers called in, getting out of trouble being on him. You want us to clear? What do you advise?
You can clear it.
10-4, thank you.
Got a call to run by at McDonald's in East End, 1626 Washington Street East. They're advising an elementary age child standing alone with a sign, please help, need food, possible Dakota subject. What do you advise? You can clear it. I believe they confirmed it was Dakota.
Many people driving by assume that Dakota is an elementary school kid, so when he's not with Felicity, it's almost a guarantee that the police are going to arrive. His interactions with the police, as well as locals, are about the only way we are able to keep up with Dakota anymore. Like I said before, he doesn't post to social media, but is extremely well known in the area, leading to a lot of interactions like this.
Felicity done went bald, y'all. Dakota, Felicity!
They're not just well known around town, this also applies to social media. This next clip I'm about to show you was captured by a child, unfortunately. He recognized Dakota and Felicity, who were seemingly eyeing up the change in a wishing fountain, and went downstairs to request a photo with them.
Dakota, bro. Look, it's Dakota. Dakota, yo! On God, that is Dakota. Yo. I'll ask for a picture, I'm not gonna lie. Hey, excuse me? Are you Dakota?
Yeah, he's Dakota.
Can I get a picture with you?
Personally, I think this is the only way that you're going to see Dakota moving forward. The occasional fan stopping to take a photo so they can post it on TikTok. I don't know if there will be any more would-be managers. We've seen both ends of them, with Korcle actually trying to help and China trying to profit. I don't know if there's any in between that could be successful for the couple. I don't think either of them will change while they're with the other. Their relationship is one of toxic codependency. Felicity will not stop cheating on Dakota, and he will not stop taking her back. Felicity also seems to be in poor health. She's been seen at the hospital numerous times, and even walking the streets with a walker, which many think is just another way for them to sympathy bait. Any way you slice it, it is one of the darkest periods in Dakota and Felicity's life, squandering almost every opportunity they had for help in the pursuit of the life that they are currently living, on the street with little to no hope of anything changing.